All right, I am live. It says, hopefully this is working better than the last time I did this. If you're on waiting for my 8 o'clock mini concert before my premiere of episode 5, Villa Scriptura, Mortality We're All in This Together. Yes, indeed. So anyway, if you're listening, post a comment just so I know, people are out there. It's always nice to know you're not alone. So anyway, I'm Tim, and maybe I'll just do some songs, do a little sound check, make sure everything's working great. If you hear me okay, it'd be helpful to me if you could post a comment. Just let me know if, it's coming through. Let me know. All of you is more than enough for all of me, for every thirst and every need. You satisfy me with your love, and all I have in you is more than enough. You are my supply, my breath of life, still more awesome than I know. You are my reward, worth living for, still more awesome than I know. And all of you is more than enough for all of me, for every thirst and every need. You satisfy me with your love, and all I have in you is more than enough. You're my sacrifice of greatest price, still more awesome than I know. You're my coming King, you are everything, still more awesome than I know. And all of you is more than enough for all of me, for every thirst and every need. You satisfy me with your love, and all I have in you is more than enough. More than enough. And all of you is more than enough for all of me, for every thirst and every need. You satisfy me with your love, and all I have in you is more than enough. More than enough. And all of you is more than enough for all of me, for every thirst and every need. You satisfy me with your love, and all I have in you is more than enough. Good morning, this is Tim with Villa Scriptura, trying my live stream for the first time. I'm using a different program. It's called StreamYard, and I'm hoping this is going to make it a lot more seamless. Last time I tried to do this, I found out I needed a silly little extension on Chrome. So I just went with this. I heard some good things about it. So I think I'll probably be doing more of this with my channel, try to get some more engagement going, let people know what's coming up with the channel. Again, if you're just coming on now, man, if you're a right on time, you're kind of a right on time person, you're probably about ready to click on, hey, could you just type a post in the chat box just to let me know someone's out there. I think all of the YouTube, I know this is being broadcast on YouTube. It's also being broadcast on my Facebook page, my personal page, as well as my Villa Scriptura page. And I think they consolidate all of the chat information, and it should be sent directly to me, so I should be able to see it. Now, obviously, when I'm playing or when I'm reading or something like that, I won't be able to get my keyboard's covered with papers right now anyway. So I won't really be able to respond too much, but I'd really appreciate knowing, people are out there. So again, welcome. If you're just signing on, this is Tim Black with Villa Scriptura. I'm doing a little pre-premiere concert of sorts. And what I'm hoping to do today is just share some worship songs with you that have meant a lot to me. Some of them are songs I've written. Others are from sort of under the radar sort of musicians that I've come across in the recent years. Others are songs I've picked up from various churches I've been to over the years, and I still do. I'm probably so out of the loop with new music. I don't listen to Christian radio. I don't know, the music that last time probably was years ago when I turned on Christian radio. The music they played, it seems so kind of shallow and breathy, and I just annoyed me. So I just listen to Spotify and pick my own musicians that I want to listen to. So anyway, sorry, Christian music stations, but you lost a customer because your music's kind of shallow. But anyway, hopefully you won't find anything shallow today. For those of you who don't know, I started a YouTube channel on Easter or Resurrection Sunday, just because I was so burdened with all of the death and depression and anxiety surrounding this coronavirus thing. Certainly it's a real thing. It's definitely killing people, especially older people who have pre-existing conditions. And I don't want to make light of that, but it just seems so over the top, the anxiety. And especially as a Christian, we have the answer of victory over death, and that's through the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. And as I pondered that, I thought, okay, well, people are going to go to church today and they're going to hear this wonderful message about their resurrection that they can hope in. And I realized, in all my years of going to Easter services, I would hear quite a bit more of like an apologetic argument for the resurrection of Jesus, that there were guards posted at the tomb. He definitely was dead. He had a spear thrust in his side, so he wasn't like there. I mean, I never embraced the swoon theory that he just swooned, and he wasn't really dead, just mostly dead. But that's good stuff. I mean, people need to know that, because Christianity, I think, is a very logical religion. If you just follow the logic of the resurrection of Christ, it was a historical event. It can be backed up. 500 witnesses, people who are willing to die in horrible deaths over the centuries because of their both adherence to seeing him alive, but also because of their faith. And so anyway, I just felt like I'm going to start this channel out combining two things that I love, studying the scriptures and conveying what I'm learning with others, and my love for the outdoors. I love living here in the Northwest, where we have such beauty, waterfalls, mountains, ocean, and seasons. You can do virtually anything in every season. Yes, even in the rain, you can do things in the rain. And I love to ride my bike. I go touring every year with a friend. I love to go snow camping now with the same friend. He introduced me to that. And yes, that too can be fun. And just all of the beauty, I just wanted to share that with people, but also include my love for the outdoors with that. So anyway, that's what the channel is all about. And hopefully, I plan on this Defending the Resurrection series. I plan on this series extending through the spring and into maybe early summer. There's just so much to talk about. And I haven't even addressed the yeah, but series. There's there's a handful of 5 or so verses where people say, yeah, but I think we do have an immortal soul that does escape our bodies at death, and we can actually be alive in heaven before the resurrection. So I'm going to address those verses, thief on the cross, 2 Corinthians 5, which is misquoted, by the way. That one's easy. Lazarus and the rich man. You know, the classic verses that people use to try to prove that you go straight to heaven when you die. You don't need a resurrection. So anyway, that's what I'll be working on. But today's episode is all about mortality, and it's something that we're all in together. The coronavirus, nah, we're not all in that together. Let's just be honest. I mean, there's a mask to mask or not to mask. That is the question camps right now. But anyway, you can look forward to that at 8:30. That will be premiering. If you go to YouTube, type in Villa Scriptura, or go to one of my many links I've posted on social media, you'll find it. And there's a cool little countdown like you're at NASA, 10, 9, 8, 7, and it counts down, and then it premieres live. And I usually sit by as it's premiering, and, just if anyone has some chats or anything to say, they can let me know. You're a heretic, or hey, never thought of it that way, or yeah, that's an interesting insight. Whatever you want to say, feel free. I take all comments as long as they're not nasty and overly troll meanish. But I'm reasonable. I like a good debate, a good discussion. So anyway, I'm gonna go on. One of the joys that I have twice a week is spending time with my daughter, son-in-law, and their 2 children. And my granddaughter Winnie, she's gotten to the age now where she's just used to kind of how we do Bible study, and she just gets up with her little teeny guitar and stands next to me and sings songs with me. And she started to learn all these, I would say, more adult level kinds of songs. I will share one of her favorites in a minute here. And I'm going to do one of the verses in Kazakh, which I learned when we lived in Kazakhstan. But I'm going to start out with a couple of songs I learned in one of the very first churches I started going to in Eugene, Faith Center. And I just, for some reason, these songs, they're simple songs, but they stick in my head, and I like to play them. So here we go. Arise and sing, ye children of Zion, for the Lord has delivered thee. Arise and sing, ye children of Zion, for the Lord has delivered thee. Open up your hearts and rejoice before him. Open up your heart and rejoice before him. Open up your hearts and rejoice before him, for the King is our God. I go to the rock of my salvation. I go to the stone that the builders rejected. I go to the mountain, and the mountain stands by me. When all around me is sinking sand, on Christ the solid rock I stand. When I need a shelter, when I need a friend, I go to the rock. Okay, one more time. I go to the rock of my salvation. I go to the stone that the builders rejected. I go to the mountain, and the mountain stands by me. When all around me is sinking sand, on Christ the solid rock I stand. When I need a shelter, when I need a friend, I go to the rock. When I need a shelter, when I need a friend, I go to the rock. All right, kids and adults alike should know this song if you've been in Christian circles for long. It's just a nice, simple song, but it's one of the first ones and most requested of my granddaughter. Now I'm going to do the English first, then I'll do Kazakh. If you're watching this from Kazakhstan, or I'm aware of one friend I know who's moved to Canada, who's from Kazakhstan, please forgive my Kazakh pronunciation. If you know anything about Turkish languages, you may recognize some of the language, but it's been a long time since I've been in Kazakhstan. And really, we chose to study Russian anyway, so I know a few Kazakh phrases, but man, correct me, maybe chat back with me and let me know how I'm messing up the pronunciation as we go. All right, so first in English. Oh, this is the day This is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Okay, in casa. Oh, Bizbukune kudai jaratkan, Shatanamız oynap kulimiz. Oh, Bizbukune kudai jaratkan, Shatanamız oynap kulimiz. Bizbukune kudai jaratkan. Oh, this is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, oh, I will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. Oh, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, this is the day that the Lord has made. Now, if my granddaughter Winnie was next to me right now, she'd have a little tiny guitar. She'd be strumming along with me, and she would do a cute little dance with that song. She's loves to dance to the Lord and sing to the Lord. She's really delight. For those of you who have grandkids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a wonderful stage of life. Kind of makes up for the balding and the gray hair and the other crud that goes along with getting older. Years ago, I think it was Henson Baptist Church, and Michael Card, one of my favorite singers and songwriters and authors, was doing something called the By Four Project, where he was collaborating with artists, visual, musical artists, and even pastors. And they were placing their music, some of their music and art and sermons online for free that you could download royalty free and enjoy. And so he was part of this project, the By Four Project. And one of the musicians was there that night. His name was Brian Moss. I believe he's from Orcas Island in the San Juan Islands area up in Washington. And he did this song based on Psalm 8. And so before I do the song, I'm going to read from Psalm 8. O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory above the heavens. Out of the mouth of babes and infants, you have established strength because of your foes. And I love that verse because I get to see that every week, that infants and babes are singing God's praises. All right, so out of the mouth of babes and infants, you've established strength because of your foes to still the enemy and the avenger. When I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what's man that you're mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him? Yet you have made him a little lower than the heavenly beings and crowned him with glory and honor. You've given him dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, also the beasts of the field, the birds of the heavens, and the fish of the sea, whatever passes along the paths of the seas. O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. I love that psalm because it reminds us, as it was reminding David, who wrote it, it reminds us of our honorable place as human beings in the created order. It really harkens back to Genesis, when God told Adam, hey, I created you, but you've got this job to do. You've got this role to play as an image bearer, to have dominion, to take care of, to husband the creation around you, and to be part of that. And, you know, I probably don't have the time to do it now. I thought I did. But if you want a really interesting experience, go to those letters to the 7 churches in the book of Revelation and take a look at chapters. Just read through chapters 2, starting at chapter 2, all the way to the end of the Laodicean letter. Now, there are some warnings in there that that you need to be very mindful of. But if you're a person of faith, and if you walk in perseverance and fortitude and by faith all the way to the end, as Paul did, there are some amazing rewards there. And if anything should motivate you to seek the kingdom and gouge out your eye and chop off your hand, as Jesus talked about, for the sake of the kingdom, sell everything you have to buy the field, and all of those parables he told about the precious nature of the kingdom, that's your go-to place. And you'll notice that they all harken back to either Garden of Eden mandates or experiences, and even some wilderness wandering experiences, like the manna, for instance, that the hidden manna that God had promises us. But anyway, I love that psalm, and even Hamlet references this psalm. I recently realized as I was studying Hamlet once. It's a great psalm, Psalm 8. But this song by Brian Moss, originally written by Brian Moss, Orcas Island. Check his website out, or he's on Spotify. Brian Moss, Moss. And he's doing a psalm project where he's trying to musically do all the psalms. I think he's kind of must be taking a hiatus from that, because I haven't seen any new stuff. But his first two albums on the psalms, which you can find on Spotify or through his website, are really well worth getting. He is probably one of the few people who can take a psalm and just adjust it just a bit, for the musical sense of the song, but yet retain the core meaning of the psalm. And man, if you've read the Psalms, that's got to be a challenge. But anyway, this is his take on Psalm 8. It's called Glory on Display. Our Lord, your name is forever. We sing with creation this song of praise. The heavens above echo your wonder. They tell of your power now and always. From children and infants your truth is proclaimed. All of the world will know of your fame. Glory, glory, everywhere, through the earth and through the air. Glory, glory, to be found through the sights and through the sound. The world dances this beautiful ballet of your glory on display. Who then are we that you should consider the King of the kingdom? You care for us, you gave us form just under the angels. We're made in the image of your love. The beasts of the field and the birds of the air follow us in this heavenly prayer. Glory, glory, everywhere, through the earth and through the air. Glory, glory, to be found through the sight and through the sound. The world dances this beautiful ballet of your glory on display. Maker of the universe, maker of the land and sea, maker of the moon and stars, maker of me. Oh, glory, glory, everywhere, to be found in sight and through the sound. The world dances this beautiful ballet of your glory on display. Isn't that a great song? I mean, it just reflects so well that psalm, the gist of the psalm. I love that when a songwriter can do that. The next song, speaking of under the radar musicians, I don't know if many of you have ever heard of the group called, I think it's pronounced Psallos. It's P-S-A-L-L-O-S. That's P-S-A-L-L-O-S. So Psalms, kind of like Psalm Psallos, I think. But man, go to their YouTube channel, their website. They are incredible musicians that have put the book of Romans to music. And I mean, you really get a gist of the sense of the book from that. They have put the entire book of Hebrews to music, and they just recently finished the book of Jude. And they are incredible musicians who, again, like Brian Moss, know how to take the scriptures and not scrape away all the meaning of it, even the hard to handle meaning. And they retain that in the music. So I'd really recommend, turn on I think you can turn on the lyrics and read as you listen. But oh man, they are incredible musicians. And again, under the radar, hardly anyone knows about them, and they would never be put on Christian radio. So anyway, this is one of their songs. I'm going to do it a cappella, and it's called "The Lord is a Mighty King." It's a kind of a hymn, or sort of structured like a hymn. So. The Lord is a mighty King, the King of all nations, the maker of everything. Let his handiwork say, I am his, Creator owns creation. See what power there is in the sovereign who reigns. The Lord is a holy King. The judge rules from heaven. His wrath he will surely bring on the man who rebels. Oh, my sin, how can I be forgiven? There is justice in him. Is there mercy as well? The Lord is a gracious King for those who believe him. His Son is an offering for their sins to atone. I'm redeemed, for grace I have received him. By his death on the tree, I have peace at his throne. The Lord is a faithful King. He never will leave us. His children will ever sing of his glorious love. Oh, my soul is safely bound in Jesus. All his virtues extol, for the Lord reigns above. Man, that song was emotional. I don't know what it is, but whew, man, if you reject the gospel, I'm sorry, but you've got to be crazy. I don't know what more God could do for you. He is a wonderful, tender God with tender mercies. And those of you who've been walking with him, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, all right, enough of that. Slap on the face. All right, I am going to do I have time for this? Yes. I'm going to do another song. This is a song from Michael Card, and it's a story song. So it tells the story of Abraham and Isaac, his son. Abraham was old. I mean, he was old. He was given up. He was thinking, I'm never going to have a kid. God gave me this promise that my descendants would be as the stars of the heavens and the sand of the seashore. What's he talking about? And he sort of, if you know the story, he took things into his own hands with his wife's help, Sarah. But he did actually get a son through Sarah, and his name was Isaac. And, he's enjoying this wonderful period in his life with this new miraculous son. And then God just knocks on his door one day, knocks on his heart and says, I want you to sacrifice Isaac. Yeah, I want you to sacrifice Isaac. And he goes up and he's going to do it. And the scriptures suggest that Abraham had such a belief that God could raise the dead, and that Isaac would be the one through whom his descendants would be determined, that he was ready to go for it. And of course, God sent an angel to stop him. And really, we know that ultimately Isaac, the fulfillment of Isaac, of a son, a precious son being sacrificed, was fulfilled through Jesus Christ. So that's what this song is about. And it's a Michael Card song. Again, he's one of my favorite songwriters just because he's such a great writer. And he's been around a long time. 3 days' journey to the sacred place. A boy and a man with a sorrowful face, tortured yet faithful to God's command, to take the life of his son with his own hands. But God will provide a lamb to be offered up in your place, a sacrifice so spotless and clean, to take all your sins away. Here's wood and fire, where's the sacrifice? A questioning voice and the innocent eyes. Is the son of laughter who we've waited for to die like a lamb to please the Lord. But God will provide a lamb to be offered up in your place, a sacrifice so spotless and clean, take all your sins away. A gleaming knife, an accepted choice, a rush of wind and an angel's voice, a ram in a thicket caught by his horns, and a new age of trusting the Lord is born. For God has provided a lamb. He was offered up in your place. What Abraham was asked to do, he has done. He's offered his only son. What Abraham was asked to do, he has done. He's offered his only son. Again, an emotional song. I don't know. Must be the live streaming. Must be doing something to me. All right, I'm going to take you out on this song, and just want to remind you at 8:30, if you go over to YouTube and type in Villa Scriptura or follow my link that I put on Facebook. I must have skipped Instagram today. Oops, sorry, Instagram people. But go over there and watch the premiere. Of course, it'll be on, and I'll continue to promote it, of course. But the episode is a really important one. Because it really gets into the lie and the basis for all of this stuff that Plato and so many people through the ages and unfortunately people still embrace, that somehow we have an immortal soul and we don't need a resurrection. That is a total lie, and it's based on a lie that was perpetuated in the garden. But that's what the episode's about today. So I'm going to take you out with this song. All right, here we go. The Lord, O God of Israel, is the Lord our Father. Oh, the Lord, and I will sing. Yes, and I will praise him. Oh, lift my heart and sing. Yes, and I will glorify. Oh, lift my heart and sing. The Lord, oh God of Israel, he is the Lord our Father, the Lord, oh God of Israel, he is, and I will sing. He is, and I will glorify. Oh, lift my heart and sing. He is, and I will praise him. Oh, lift my heart and sing. Oh Lord, the all-sufficient Father, he is our steadfast Adonai. Oh Lord, the everlasting Maker, the I am, oh, here we go now, the Lord, oh God of Israel. He is the Lord our Father, oh God of Israel. He is, and I will sing. He is, and I will glorify. Oh, lift my heart and sing. He is, and I will praise him. Oh, lift my heart and sing. Oh, lift my heart and sing. Oh, lift my heart and sing. All right. I love doing that song, and I love seeing my granddaughter get into it. So, thank you for joining me today. I hope you'll watch the video as it's premiering as I speak. And I hope to do this again, maybe the next time I do a premiere. So you guys have a great day. And again, this is Tim Black with Villa Scriptura signing out. Adios, amigos y amigas. Das vidania.